And when you're happy scrubbing through the comp and checking your workings, we can preview the whole thing using the RAM preview function.
This week, Fraser's Skillshare class blew me away, and you should quite literally purchase the course immediately. This week,
there we go. Now I noticed in here, and what you might notice is that you miss slightly some of the consonants, like your L's and M's and P's. They often feel like they don't quite last long enough, and I thought, and I'm going to have this L just last a little bit longer there.
Blew me away.
There we go.
This week, Fraser's Skillshare class blew me away, and you should quite literally purchase the course immediately.
There we go. And finally, once you're happy with all the mouth positions, we go back into our mouth comp and select all the text layers and turn them off. And there we go. And our character's just left with his mouth there. And finally, we're going to have our character look a little bit more animated by giving him some gesticulation that kind of goes with the audio that we've got here. So if we listen to it again.
This week, Fraser's Skillshare class blew me away.
So I'm going to have him raise his arms when he describes how the course blew him away. And I'm just going to, what we're going to do here is just give our character a couple of very simple poses. So we're going to select our position, our rotation of our head and torso. And remember that we've connected these together using our parent layer. So when we say blew me away, I'm going to move these to the beginning of that. I'm going to have about a 20 frame gap between this and when he's fully gesticulating. And I'm going to move his head, pop it back on his shoulders. I'm going to lift his body up a little bit and have that rotate. And we're going to select the paths in our arm layers. There we go. You can see them on their own. And he's going to raise his arms.
Blew me away.
For blew me away. So here's our arm. If you just press shift, and you can edit the path. He's going to raise his arms. I'm going to do the same. Same with the other. This will all be fairly familiar territory if you did my other class. Now it's all going to feel a little bit robotic. Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to add some keyframe easing. We're going to select all of these keyframes. We're going to go to Easy Ease. And then again, this will be familiar territory if you've done my previous class. We have to select these all individually. So your path, the path layers here for our arms, we can do them together. We're going to go into keyframe velocity and we're going to choose an influence of 66. And that's just going to give us a bit more of a natural motion as our character speeds up and slows down into each pose. And we're going to select both of our position keyframes and do the same there in the keyframe velocity. I'll show you the long way around. If you can go animation keyframe assistant, keyframe velocity, and you can change it there. So now our character, there we go, it's a little bit more animated. And we're going to do something similar with his eyebrows there. So perhaps we go in and we'll grab his eyebrow path. Now I'm going to have him talk a little bit more deadpan initially, and then on Blew Me Away I'm going to raise the eyebrows as he genuinely looks surprised. There we go, and again right click, keyframe velocity 66.
That's Blew Me Away.
After Blew Me Away, I'm going to have him return to his previous position, and you can either copy and paste the keyframes, or you can select them again here. That'll duplicate the last set of keyframes. And I'm going to have, as he's telling us that you should do the course, I'm going to have him rotate the other way. Let's see, oops. Go, position his head, position his body again. And for this one he's going to look a little bit more serious. He's going to bring this arm down. With this arm he's going to be almost pointing at the camera. Not quite, because he's a bit of a flat character. Let's have a look, see how this looks.
And you should quite literally purchase it.
And on purchase it immediately, again I'm going to duplicate all my keyframes. And our position. I'm going to have him return to his original pose, and I'm going to do that by copying and pasting each of these original keyframes. Oops, I've missed this out. There we go. So I just copy that last keyframe there.
Purchase the course.
And what you may find you need to do is again just go into your keyframe assistant and hit your keyframe velocity, as it tends to After Effects tends to lose the keyframe velocities if you're animating with them. It's always worth going back afterwards and readjusting these. Again, you have to do them separately. I'm not quite sure why this is, it's just a quirk of After Effects. And finally, the position. For some reason they've stayed the same. And now let's RAM preview our character.
This week, Fraser's Skillshare class blew me away, and you should quite literally purchase the course immediately.
There we go, and there's your animated character.